Winter chill sits in, the blues, the greys, the big coats, boots and scarves to hold the heat. Spring comes, the flowers arrive, blossom and rise, new beginnings. Summer of the sun, heating up the air, memories of school holidays every year. The days extend, darkness is delayed, on birthdays until the end of the summer days. Orange, autumn, red surroundings, leaves scatter and cover the grounds. Summer leaves us in the temperature drops, autumn appears, a transition, we will not stop. Each season has a meaning, a memory, negative or positive, we face it yearly or monthly. Winter chill is in, the new transition is just about to begin.
So we are winter thinkers. What lights up our day? The cycle path when it can be navigated. Hilary walks down the pale sunlight, awaiting the sight of the horses, eating to their heart's delight the hay in abundance, while steam emerges from their every pore. Frost patterns on her car window delight Steph as she has to wipe them away to see out, regrettably so. Patterns of the branches in the sky make for a wondrous art display, while Carole looks for the starlings at dusk in the cold, crisp morning where the white roof and windows have snow turned to frozen ice in time. When we come inside, we can eat the stew like Mother used to make while wrapping our legs in blankets. We are spring thinkers. The yellow flowers remind us of a spring day, while bluebells in a glade at Bowood bring happy memories to mind. The birds feeding in Hilary's garden drink water from a pyramid, and Steph can see the tips of the leaves showing, while the smell of spring infuses her pores. Oh, not to wear gloves and not to go to work in the dark brings a smile, while the crocus rise above the earth, bearing their beautiful colours to us. The evenings draw out, giving the illusion of longer days, whilst Easter and chocolate cools. We are summer thinkers, where the abundance of wild flowers gives Carole joy, partners with luscious green leaves dropping from every tree as if eavesdropping. No coats, no shoes, and warmth reaching our bones. Hilary is sitting in her garden, soaking in the sun's warmth, listening to the rustle of trees and traffic hum, bringing her all the beauty of the day. Noise of children playing happily, so while chatty neighbours bring chitter-chatter to Steph's ears, long, tall trees laced with fairy rings and toadstools bring their magic into the air, delighting our senses. Back to being autumn thinkers, the crisp step-on leaves, the rich red and golds give a special glow, while squirrels forage and hide acorns in places we cannot see. Altogether, each season brings us joy, and we all have memories imprinted to remember, our cameras in our minds forever. Thank you. And
Greed was implanted in my soul. I have toiled to nurture wealth, disregarding all persons' health, destroying as I went, thinking little of others or the monies I have spent. Now I lay, just listening to chugging engine sounds. My heart is loudly keeping time in lesser leaps and bounds. My breath heaves slow and heavy, just like other people's strife. I sacrificed my health for wealth, even lost my wife. Call me Alf McAlpine, engineer of great renown. I reflect upon the past as they put me in my gown. The dusty earth beneath me laughs at my unease. Stones become unforgiving as my blood begins to freeze. Brown eyes shutter tight as spades spring out in time. Remember Alf McAlpine, who lived a life of crime.
Colour of spring. Forsythia, celandine, worship the sun.
Autumn came, and the leaves tumbled gently at my feet, and the wind lashed and fought against the rain. Winter came, and the trees pleaded for the light, stood cold and bruised, stark naked in the night. Spring came, and buds burst like lovers' surging hearts, and blossom blew fresh like the blushes of their cheeks. Summer came, and clouds soared, racing on the open sky, and the leaves played, joked, and tease the breezes.
Autumn in Woodchurch Road meant a return to school, new T-bar sandals and freshly knitted jumpers. I was 5 when we moved there from 2 Gothic Street in Rockferry. Mum had been at the end of her tether. Her friend Betty had lived in a lovely new house in Irby. We were still housed in a terrace 2 up, 2 down, housing 4 generations. There was no inside toilet, no bathroom, and only a backyard black with coal dust, close to the busy Newchester Road. Mum had staged a sit-in at the council offices, so the story goes, and she refused to leave until they gave her a house. Maybe her tears prevailed, because 11 Home Farm Road became our new home. It was at the edge of a huge council estate, built on land outside the town. Our new home had been previously tenanted, but we didn't mind. It had 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, a garden, and an outside loo too. We loved it. The estate had been designed as a garden village. The road was flanked with wide grass verges, and there were meadows all around. At first, my sister and I went to different schools in the town. Gillian caught a school bus, but I had to travel unaccompanied by bus. When the new school was built on the estate, we both went there. It was flat-roofed and low-lying with banks of windows, very hot in summer. There were 4 classes of 50 children in my school year, with just 1 teacher. Discipline was tight, and caning the ultimate punishment. The autumn term brought Harvest Festival. We all took something to school. Mum thought it was an imposition, as goods were still in short supply and there was not much money around. The offerings were arranged on gym benches in the hall. The smell of apples was heady. The headmistress, Miss G, led the proceedings from the stage. I remember looking up at her 2-toned brown and white court shoes as we sang, "We plough the fields and scatter." The school playground became an arena for conker tournaments, fiercely contested. My dad would take us to Arrow Park to collect the conkers and crunch the fallen leaves underfoot. The park was within walking distance and had been the scene of a World Scout Jamboree in 1929. Dad insisted the conkers had to be soaked in vinegar to harden them for the fray. I don't recall being very successful. Then came Duck Apple Night, our Halloween, as it's now more commonly called. Our friends next door, Alan and Beryl, came, as well as our friend Linda, with their parents, and we would duck in a bath filled with water for apples. There were apples hung on strings that we had to eat, hands behind our backs, followed by toffee apples and parking. This was followed by bonfire night and baked potatoes running with butter, baked on the bonfire in our garden. Dad would buy a box of fireworks, pinwheels and rockets and so on, and he would ignite them from a safe distance. We were allowed sparklers that we waved around and around, creating after patterns in our eyes. The smell of sulphur was very strong.
Behind I've left my trials and tribulations, the call to arms, the pressures of the nations. Political necessities and sacred duties too are well forgot and now bequeathed to you. My spirit now, rebound, can rise into the sky. Mortal remains well wrapped, I leave as well they lie, in earthbound splendour, fit for times enduring, with passage rights my eternal home securing. My soul, though the light, has gained its passage right. Mute evidence is within my lingering sight. So, fractured sun reborn, I rise to join you, and leave behind my mourners, well paid, who record my powers for future generations, for their due knowledge and thus their veneration. Therefore will they see and marvel at the tale, what might and power I wielded, on what grand scale my buildings were created, my people fed, my name widely known. So here, in immortality and great fame, lies one who in their time was just and mighty, yet a humble believer, wise and beloved. And here the inscription was obliterated.
When do you think that spring arrives? Is it when nature becomes alive? Birds make their nest, or spiders weaving from east to west? When do you think the summer blooms? Is it joining friends in tea rooms, walking and enjoying the countryside, breathing the perfume air, or being by the seaside? When do you think autumn embraces crunchiness on leaves with shoes that have laces, blackberries and apples gathered for our winter store, changing leaves falling at our door? When do you think that winter comes? Fruit have ripened, including plums, mulled wine following frost and snow, and baking bread by the fire glow. The seasons give the cycle of life in a year, with a slight change in each shire. Oh, what a shame, I'm sure you would agree, if you lived in a land where that wasn't to be.
A firework fails to flame. Day dawns dismal.
Fragments, broken sleep, photocopy of myself, winter splinters light.
Determined mindset, emotions overflowing, the mind disrupting.
Sleep is not asleep, tossing and turning all night, Parkinson's disease.
Surrounded in shadow, dawn breaks through overhead clouds. Dewdrops sparkle on buds in bloom.
Butterfly flutters very near to the cobweb. I must turn away.
The feeling of life, a rush that hardly occurs, running towards dreams.
She belongs, curled up in his lap of love, bonny girl dog.
Mind fluctuating. I was waiting. My blind date had to arrive.
Sky paints estuary, shades of orange, red and gold, nature's palette.